when I was young, I was very, very intrigued with Sonu Nigam. I think every artist has contributed to another artist. We are all inspired by each other. And that's the beauty about music. Yes, there are people and artists who are dependent on Autotune because they don't sing well in pitch. No one is perfect in pitch. Even the most pitch perfect person is going to be a few degrees here and there. 100% कोई भी pitch पे नहीं है. I think it's the best time to be an independent musician today.
Hello, welcome to Indulge. This is Dhoritri Ganguly, and today we have with us the young, dynamic and super talented singer-songwriter and musician Armaan Malik. Welcome, Armaan.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, please tell us about your latest single, Tera Main Intezaar.
Tera Main Intezaar is a very special song. I know all my releases are special for me, but this one is extra special because my fans have been waiting for me to do something in this zone for a very long time. You know, they've not heard me in a heartbreak, soulful ballad for a very long time.
Right.
And I'm glad that unka intezar khatam hua abhi. And Tera Main Intezaar is out there. It's also my coming together with my brother Amaal and Kunal Verma, the lyric writer. And we have done quite a few songs together like Chale Aana, Ghar Se Nikalte Hi.
Yes.
So,
and all of them are super hits.
Yeah. So I think it's a very special combo, a winning team together. So I'm really glad that we were able to do Tera Main Intezaar, put it out, and a lot of the fans and listeners have been loving the song, loving the video. So yeah, so far it's going amazing. It's just been 2 weeks and I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
So, do you resonate with the song on any level?
From an emotional perspective, not at the moment because I'm super happy
right
now. But as an artist, when we do songs, sometimes we have to, think about, hypothetical situations. Talk about stories that sometimes may not always be part of our life story.
Okay.
And that's the beauty about being an artist, telling stories. And talking about moments and songs and feelings that probably someone else might be going through. So probably if someone is going through a heartbreak or is someone is waiting for their lover to return, this song will be everything to them. So I think it's about that. Every song has an audience and has someone that resonates with it. But yeah, for me, I personally do not relate to the song because it's not something that I'm going through in my personal life. But I think it's beautiful how a song can connect people and connect what has happened in their life. And just as a song also, I think it's a beautiful, melody and beautiful lyrics written by Kunal. And Amaal, as always, whenever we come together, fans look forward to both the brothers coming together, him composing, me singing. So yeah, this is one of those songs.
So since you were speaking about you and Amaal collaborating, so how different is it to collaborate with him and with other music producers or composers?
I think it's different with every person. Every person had their own way of composing, creating music, also collaborating. With my brother, I think it's very seamless because we've grown up together. We, most of the time we're jamming together on songs, creating new melodies, creating new ideas. And with him, it's very, it's like he finishes one line and I pick off from there, or I finish a line and he picks up from there. So we complete each other in a way. With other composers, I get a chance to do, something out of the box, something different also. Because the experience of working with different people gets you to perform also differently. Like say a Shankar Ehsaan Loy, when I sing for them, I feel very different. When I'm singing for say a Salim Sulaiman or an Amit Trivedi or Vishal Shekhar, they all have their own unique way of recording artists or recording singers. And that's what makes you a better artist also, working with as many people as possible and collaborating with them. But yeah, it's very special to collaborate with my brother because it feels like home team. It feels like this is my safe space.
Do you have difference of opinions when creating a song?
Lots. We have a lot of friction, lot of differences. But I think it's all in the interest of the song. We always end up, not seeing eye to eye on many occasions. But thankfully in the last few releases that we have had together, Amaal has completely trusted the song with my approach and my vision for it as well. Because right now, I feel like after having done I think more than 20, 25 songs or 30 songs with him, I have understood what he wants or requires from me as a singer. So somewhere I think like every time I'm dubbing a song for him, 18 or 90% I'm always hitting it right. And that 10% वो जो भी उसके feedback होते हैं, changes होते हैं, I incorporate that. But पहले it used to be like, no, I'm singing a certain kind of way and he wants me to sing a certain kind of way. So meeting in the middle was very difficult. But now it's somewhere we have that synergy, and that communication is much more stronger today. You started your musical journey very early, right? Yeah. So if you could tell us about like some of your musical influences while you were young. When I was young, I was very very intrigued with Sonu Nigam. Okay. I used to listen to his clips of singing, performing, and I was like, okay, this is I would love to sing like this person one day. He's so surreal. He's always never shifting from the pitch, and he's just a great performer on stage as well. Amazing energy and stamina. So for me as a singer, I looked up to him. And musically in the Western world also, I looked up to quite a few people. There was Michael Bublé, Frank Sinatra, Michael Jackson. So these are some of the artists I think overall in my childhood and teenage years have really, bettered me as a musician and taught me so much. Even John Mayer, the reason I can play the guitar and sing the way I do, I think I have to owe it to listening to the man and his songs and his albums. So yeah, I think every artist has contributed to another artist. Of course. We are all inspired by each other, and that's the beauty about music. So you have a journey of or a career of 16, 17 years roughly, right? So how would you say that music has shaped your personality over the years? I think my personality shaped my music. Okay. It's the other way around. Okay. I don't think music shaped my personality. Music made me obviously a better human being for sure. The discipline that comes with music makes you very, very disciplined in your life. But as a human, my personality kind of like shaped my music. The kind of human that I am today and have been over the years has heavily, influenced certain words, certain composition styles, genres. I have, quite, evidently stayed away from, say, using any explicit language in my songs, even if it is a dance song. Right. Or if I want any mood to come across. If there's a sexy mood also, I'm just very mindful that, I have kids listening to me. Right. So I think the person that I am and being aware of who I am as a person has, in fact, shaped my music. Okay. I would say. Okay. So have your idea or plan of creating relatable music changed over the time? I think anything that is human is going to be relatable. As in, if when you're talking about human emotions, whether that's love, whether that's heartbreak, whether that's joy, whether that's euphoria, whenever you're touching upon human emotions and you're writing a song, it's going to be relatable. Right. Sometimes some piece of music is more relatable to a certain section. Sometimes it's relatable to someone else. Like Main Rahun Ya Na Rahun, for example, that song is very relatable to people who have lost a loved one. Right. Or lost someone in their family that they really, really loved. Who they believe are guardian angels for them now. So I feel like every song has a relatable audience. It just needs to find that, or the audience needs to find that song. But I focus on writing something that's very prevalent in society in general. Okay. Like sometimes if I'm talking about, say, love also, the way I'm describing love is very much like how love is being described by the youngsters today, or how they are believing love is. And love is ever changing. The youngsters and especially the younger generations are, consuming content in a different way. They are their relationship styles have changed over the years. So when you're writing music, it's so important to hang out with people younger than you, your age, younger than you, to understand what's happening around you. I feel like when you know what's happening around you is when you can make a relatable song.
Okay. So is it the younger generation only you would consider your audience as?
No, I mean, because I have been a younger, I've been a young singer in the industry.
Yes, yes.
Somewhere a lot of the youth gets connected to me, because when they look at me, they feel like, okay, this is one of our people doing things. A lot of young singers are like, okay, I feel really amazing to say that they come up to me and say that you're an inspiration for me. Because I never set out to I set out to do music. I never thought I'll be, being someone's inspiration. Obviously we always want to inspire people, but when you look at it from a third perspective and be like, wow, I have done XYZ things in my career and that's inspiring younger kids, that's a responsibility for me. So I would say my audience, definitely there's a lot of audience that is in the younger generation, but I also have a lot of people who say listen to a Main Rahun Ya Na Rahun or some of my love songs which transcend age and not necessarily are very focused on the youth or just one generation. It spans a lot of generations. I have a lot of parents, grandparents come up to me and say they love my songs. So I feel like I've been able to, through music, touch a lot of humans across ages. But yeah, I think relatability factor wise, the younger generation is more attuned to my personality, my music, and whatever I'm doing.
Right. So when you thought of pursuing music and cut to today, have you been able to achieve what you had dreamt of?
More than that.
Okay.
I think I set out with a set of goals.
Right.
And कि यार I want to achieve this and this. लेकिन उससे ज़्यादा ही हुआ है. It's been incredible for me, the journey so far. More than 16 years.
Yeah.
And I don't even believe it sometimes. I started very young, so
from a teen singer to now.
When I look back at my journey, I think it's been a long journey,
right?
And I feel like there's so much more to do. People double my age are saying now that okay, now we have done what. So for me, I think I've a lot of the span of other people's careers I have put together, like from my young age to now, like from when I was 8 till now. Right. So I feel like there's so much for me personally. I have a lot of personal goals that I want to achieve that will happen in the coming years. But I'm blessed and grateful that I've gotten opportunities and the success at such an early age and achieved so much more than what I set out to do.
So right now there have been conversations regarding Autotune.
Okay.
Right. So what's your take on Autotune?
Is there any conversation?
I guess yes, because any interview you've been to, or on podcasts and people are asking about, do you use Autotune or So
I think there's a lack of knowledge out there in the public, in the audience. Autotune को बहुत negatively देखा जाता है.
Right.
Editors use softwares to edit videos, just the way singers use Autotune to correct vocals and pitch correct them.
Right.
So I don't think it should be looked at any differently. Just the way videographers have softwares, photographers, editors, filmmakers, across the board, artists in general have so many softwares that help them do their work better. I think that is what Autotune is for the voice, which is a pitch corrector. So suppose a singer is singing a song, a certain line, and it's almost in pitch, but उसने बहुत अच्छे feel से गाया है. The emotion is really nice, the throw is really nice, and the tone is nice. And you're like, okay, I just need to correct the pitch. That's when Autotune comes into play, and you're like, agar vocals are sounding 70% in pitch, then you try to make it 90, 99, 100% in pitch. I mean, it depends on the degree of pitch correction you want to use. But ये आप audience को नहीं समझा पाते हो, because audience has very limited knowledge about how music is made, how songs are created. Yes, there are people and artists who are dependent on Autotune because they don't sing well in pitch. That is the concerning part where, singers have to be dependent on something to be able to perform well. Like say
Right.
a well-trained singer will not depend on an autotune. Autotune helps their performance get better.
Right.
So that's how it should be looked at. Yes, I mean, there are singers in the West like T-Pain who have made a sound using autotune, wherein their tone only is, कि यार autotune वाला tone उनका tone है.
Okay.
बहुत सारे ऐसे आर्टिस्ट हैं, इंडिया में भी हैं काफी आर्टिस्ट जो, their sound is autotune वाला sound. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad musicians.
Okay.
But yeah, there are singers who are heavily dependent on it. Being like, oh, I can't sing without it, or it has to be completely autotune. That I think is a little bit like concerning.
Yeah.
Because as a performer, as a singer, you should be able to be in tune.
Mm-hmm.
No one is perfect in pitch. Even the most pitch perfect person is going to be a few degrees here and there. 100% कोई भी pitch पे नहीं है. प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि रेडियो पे वी हैव स्टार्टेड लिसनिंग इन स्ट्रीमिंग प्लेटफॉर्म्स वी स्टार्टेड लिसनिंग टू वेरी पिच परफेक्ट सॉन्ग्स.
राइट.
तो एनीथिंग दैट्स नेचुरल स्टार्ट्स साउंडिंग बेसुरा, and anything that's overly autotuned sounds too autotuned.
And I think more so because of AirPods and everything.
No, I don't think it's because of the audio devices. It's more to do with how how audiences have now perceived pitch in general in their ears over the years, when musicians have started using pitch correction tools to a degree where it's like too perfect.
Okay.
Sometimes वो human touch नहीं रहता है, and जब आप चाहते हो कि organic रखो and you want to keep it as natural as possible, when you do that, people are like, "Arey, he's singing besura."
Okay, got it.
But he's not singing besura. He's actually singing like how a human would sing.
Okay.
It's just that our technology is so advanced in the music field that it's helped you to say if you're singing 80, it's making you 100.
Got it.
And it's good in a way to make that, because if everyone is sounding 100 and आपका 80 सुनाई दे रहा है, so people will think you are besura,
right?
Which is not the truth. It's just that now we are in an era of music which is heavily produced,
right?
Heavily tuned, pitched to perfection. So anything that's imperfect and human is sounding off.
Off. Got it.
That is the problem where it's coming. And I feel like whether autotune or not there at all, what singers or performers who actually feel like they are true singers, they should be focusing more on being really good live. I think live performances में बहुत सारे लोग चूकते हैं.
Right. So live performances you cannot really auto-tune.
You can.
You can?
There is live auto-tune also.
Okay.
But it depends how much you use it again. I don't use in my shows.
Okay.
I've completely, everything is live. There are some bits which have backing vocals behind.
Yes.
Because, when you're doing a 2.5 hour show, there will be a point in the show कि आप थक जाओगे, dance गाने हैं, you need support. So there's obviously backing vocals within the tracks, but entirety of my show I'm singing live and there's no auto-tuning happening at the back end. There are a lot of pop artists who do auto-tuning and that is their choice. I believe I can sing as much as I can in pitch, so I have to sing and make sure that audiences see me, the true singer in me.
Okay. So if I ask you, what's your idea about the current music scene in India?
I think it's the best time to be an independent musician today.
Right.
Today, there are so many avenues that have opened up. पहले क्या होता था कि if anyone wants to be a singer and famous and popular, they had to be a playback singer.
Right, right.
But today that's not the case. Today you can create your own music, your own music videos, and still be very, very popular and very, very successful. So I think overall today is, especially where we are this time right now, is the best time in Indian music scene. Anyone from anywhere can become big if they're true to their art.
Okay. Okay. So looking back, if I ask you, do you think you could have handled or sung any song better? Any of your songs?
I don't know. I mean, there are sometimes some songs where there's this song called Sab Tera.
Right, right.
Which I was very angry with Amaal. He didn't let me re-sing it.
Okay.
He's like, it sounds good the way it is. And I wanted to redub it again. But I mean, today it's hugely successful.
Yes.
So now when I look back at it, I was like, do you think it, that striving for perfection sometimes can also be detrimental to a song.
Right.
You know, sometimes
like you are trying too hard to make it
to
correct.
make it perfect and trying to oversing it or resing it and
Yes.
whatever. Sometimes, like Tera Main Intezaar, with the new song that I've released, my rough vocals are the final vocals.
Oh, okay.
That's the first time I sang the song.
Okay.
And that's also the last time I've sung the song.
Oh,
Apart
wow.
from a few like embellishments here and there, which Amaal wanted me to do.
Yeah.
But it is the first time the rough vocal is the final what you hear right now.
Okay.
So sometimes you just shouldn't touch
Right.
or hamper anything that's already sounding and feeling good.
Okay. So personally, what's your process of creating music or recording a song or writing a song? Because you do all of these.
I think inspiration can strike you anywhere.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm on a plane.
Right.
And I get a tune. And I'm like recording and all the passengers are looking at me like, kya kar raha hai pagal aadmi? Lekin I think that's how musicians are, you know, we get inspiration anywhere and everywhere. My process is that I always make sure that I don't lose a melody, because melody comes in like fleeting moments. आके फिर चले जाता है, कभी कभी याद नहीं रहता है. So which is why we voice note everything. And then when I go back home, I listen to those voice notes and then transcribe it on like my guitar with chords and then put it on to my workstation and record rough vocals as a tune karke. Then we sit with the lyricist to put words to it. Because I have a melody in mind, I have a vibe in mind, but then I want proper words to it. So that's literally my process. Sometimes lyrics are written first and then उस पे melody लिखी जाती है या बनाई जाती है. So वो भी एक process है.
Right.
But I personally like writing the melody first and then put lyrics on.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So also you must have had bad days. What keeps you going during those times?
I think it's very tough as an artist to navigate, you know, because whenever you're like say doing an interview, like what we're having right now, and or you are supposed to be happy when internally you're not very happy. It's very tricky for artists to show up and be their normal selves while everything is not going right in their lives. And I think that is, you know, I think it's superhuman. We are superhumans, I would say. Artists in general.
Right.
We're able to navigate emotions and balance emotions in such intricate manners and such unique ways. Yes, we don't always do everything perfectly, but I think we juggle really well.
Okay.
So it is hard. It is hard that, you know, you have to show up every day, make sure you, you know, talk right, behave right.
Yeah.
You know, in this hyper vigilant world where everything that you do is scrutinized.
And on social media. Everything is put directly on social media.
Exactly. Like right now, this interview, probably when I look at it, once it comes out, I might be, अरे यार, ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए था, ये नहीं बोलना चाहिए था. But in the flow, whatever we're feeling, we're talking.
Right.
So in that scenario, it's very, very like tough for the artist to be like, okay, I need to take a step back, understand what I'm saying, make the mind to mouth connection really strong and mean everything that I'm saying in the truest form and be authentic, yet also not mess it up and say something wrong.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's quite a lot of pressure on celebrities and artists in general, but I think I do a good job.
Okay. So tell us about your upcoming projects.
I'm working on a bunch of songs right now that I am developing as a shorter album.
Okay.
And I've recorded like close to 10 to 15 English songs in London earlier part of this year that I hope to release end of this year or next year.
So will that be also in an album format?
Maybe. I might release them first as singles and then compile them as an album.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on as of now. There are a bunch of songs in films as well that might release soon. But I'm really, really focused on my independent music. I think it's a beautiful time to be an independent musician.
Right.
And the freedom I'm getting to make my own creative vision come to life, I think that's just incredible.
Right. So, the shorter album that you're talking about, how many songs will there be?
So usually a lengthier album, like a full length album, is like anywhere between 10 to 12 songs. It can be more than that also, but I mean, technically I like keeping it to like 10 to 12 songs, or 8 to 10 also sometimes is considered an album. A shorter album is called an EP, which is an extended play, which I think is 3 to 5 songs.
3 to 5 songs. Yeah. Okay. So, do you have friends from the industry?
Yeah, I do. Very few, but I do.
You make reliable friends from the industry?
You can. You have to find like-minded people.
Right.
I think that only happens when you meet a lot of people and then be like, okay, yeah, this is my kind of person.
Okay. So, standing in today's time, because we were talking about getting scrutinized and putting everything on social media, do you think performers or even musicians, artists, everyone should be, always on top of the fashion game?
Fashion game? I think as an artist who's in the public eye, and if you really care about looking good, maybe you should pay attention to what you're wearing and stepping out with. But there are also artists who really don't care.
Okay.
There are those rebellious artists who like, I don't care. I'm just going to be in a t-shirt and shorts and I'm okay.
Which one of those are you?
I'm the one who cares.
Okay.
Yeah, I care a lot about how I look and what I wear and how I'm presenting myself.
Right.
I'm not the carefree.
Yeah.
हाँ जो भी है मैं कुछ भी पहन के चले जाऊँगा. I like looking good. I love fashion. I love trying new styles.
Right.
That's the kind of person I am.
So we see you in a lot of quirky, colorful jackets.
Yeah.
Jackets are your thing?
I've always loved wearing jackets. I love hoodies as well.
Okay.
I love sweatshirts. Lately, I've been wearing a lot of shirts like the one that I'm wearing right now. A lot of knits as well. Obviously, it's not the weather for knits, but I love wearing knits. And when I'm not doing any performances on stage or whatever, I try to keep it more in the earthier tones.
Okay.
Beige and cream and off-white and stuff. I love playing with those kind of color tones when I'm not like on stage or performing. Okay.
Thank you, Armaan. Thank you so much for such a detailed conversation. We touched upon, I think, a lot of things.
A lot of things. But thank you for asking all the right questions. I think the mark of a great interview always lies with an interviewer. And I think you've just asked me such amazing questions across the board.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.